What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're joined by Joe and Delilah, but we're also going to be making a video on the Grizzly. Last few videos have been focused on the Outlander that I just got. Big change from the Grizzly. But with that being said, I wanted to make kind of one of my last final overview videos of a Grizzly. Now that I have experience with a Can-Am, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, never had a Polaris yet, don't know if I ever want to. Not after owning this. But anyway, we're currently at some pretty high mileage for this being a 24. So I wanted to go in full detail how the experience has been. 4,530 miles. That's quite a bit. A lot of that's trail here in Montana. A lot of it's rough. Wheelies and rowdy riding. Don't know how else to put it. You can see I've done some wheelies, scraped the back. But overall, it's lived a decent life. No crazy mud. I also wanted to make this video before it goes to North Carolina for a few weeks here coming up because it might not look the same. Come on. You never know. Down there's a lot of mud riding, so we'll definitely do that. Holy shit. Hey, I told you Jacob's crazy. Pretty sure I'm going to take this machine with me. As bad as I want to take the Outlander, I don't want to put that in North Carolina mud yet. And I'm going to be riding with a bunch of Honda guys. No need for 101 horsepower. Anyways, we're here to talk about this Grizzly. So first thing I'll do is go over everything I've had to do to it and what I've done. As far as repairs go, at this state, I've done nothing. I had some weird noises from the clutch over here. So I pulled it apart and cleaned it, and that was after a winter of plowing. And I plow in high range and get aggressive, so it was abused. This belt has lasted, never had to change the belt. Pulled the clutch cover off, and I had to clean it all, re-grease it. No big deal, noise went away. And so far the belt, every once in a while it'll chirp. You know, I've done some burnouts on pavement stuff, so the belt's had its fair share of abuse. Never left me stranded. Never had an issue. When it was brand new, I had it stall. It wasn't brand new, but it was almost brand new. I was about 60 miles from home, way up in the mountains by myself before I had the Garmin, I believe. And I was up there and all of a sudden it sputtered out and died. Wouldn't start back. No idea what happened. Was really aggravated. Threw some fresh gas in it. It wasn't empty and it fired up and ran fine. Not sure what it was. Never did it again. I heard after looking it up, maybe it was vapor lock. It was a hot day and it was getting ran hard. High elevation, whatever. Besides those two little things, having to clean the clutch out and re-grease it and stalling on me, not starting back, this thing has been completely flawless. And that still stands as far as wear items. I mean, the wheel bearings, if you jack it up, all the wheels are super tight still, which is impressive because all my Hondas, I've always had to throw wheel bearings in them way before this point. You know, a Honda at 1,000 miles, there's play in the front wheels. It's just the way it is. The brake pads are original. They've been shot for some time now. Definitely the back ones. I have new ones to change. But I would say for me, these original brake pads lasted a good 4,000 miles. Now that we're at 4,500, they should have been changed a long time ago. They still stop. They do squeak. I haven't even looked at them, actually, so I don't know how bad they are. I'm sure they're not good. The rotors look fine. No damage to them yet. It doesn't look like they're metal on metal yet. We're close. So yeah, that's always been great. No issues there. Now what I've done to this machine, I played with a different exhaust tip, never kept it. I didn't like it being loud, so I just went back to stock. I put this in the back, had a hook on it, lost it. I threw the HGT machining diff brace on it about 3,200 miles. Don't know if it's necessary for the kind of riding I do. If you're running great big tires and mud a lot, I would do it. I haven't had any issues with the diff. I thought maybe it was starting to lean, that's why I did it. Better to be safe than sorry. I grease. There's 4 grease zerks on here. 2 on each side back here. Didn't even know about them until way later, so I greased them probably 3,000 miles for the first time. But no issues with wear. I did my own kind of rigging up here for this roto packs I carry gas in. It's for potable water, but I don't care. I wanted a black one. Works just fine. Put that on there. I just put this bumper on the front. This is a Yamaha factory bumper. Looks super nice, heavy duty, protects the front. I did the Warren VRX 35S synthetic rope winch. Love those winches, had them on my Hondas. Love it on the Grizzly. Installed a custom Grizzly shifter. Installed ODI lock-on grips. Installed my Garmin charging mount onto here. I did the Perfex Industries floorboard protectors. I did those way later because these floorboards are pretty brittle. I put on a set of Tusk terabytes, I think they were called, or megabytes. I don't remember which ones I had. Popped one on the sidewall on a rock, and then switched to Kenda Bear Claw HTRs. These I think have 1,500 miles on them at least. And you can see they're starting to wear out pretty good in the back. Still a lot of life left, but they're very well performing tire. A little bit of road vibration, not terrible. Overall, happy with the tire. 8-ply radial, tough. That's what I like. Can-Am came with these 30x9s. Both these machines are sharing a square setup, which I like. You can rotate them. I never rotated these yet. I probably need to. But these are 6-ply construction, so I don't know how tough they are. I already got a nail in that one over there. Had to patch it. No big deal. But other than that, I haven't done anything to this. Changed air filter, changed the oil about every 1,500 miles. I think I'm 2,000 miles in right now on this oil change. Just about. Probably should change it. I run Rotella T6 5W40. Yamaha filters. I always change my filters with the oil, even though they say you don't have to. But I do it just because I go so long without changing it. Going over the features of the Grizzly really quick. It's 14-inch aluminum wheels on the SE. You get fancy paint. You get metal racks, which some like, some don't. I like them. You can put whatever you want on there. This box, everything you want. Can-Am, you have these plastic racks, but pretty much unlimited accessories, but you can't just kind of bolt on whatever you want. You have to buy these super expensive Lynx Can-Am gas can. Like this right here was 230 bucks for this, plus these mounts. Nice to have. Some people prefer their own way. This box right here I added, I've had to fix a few times, but it's been tough, been good overall. I do wish you could take it on and off really quick like you can with all the Can-Am stuff. It's all preference. But on the Grizzly, you have factory rear storage right here in the back. Not waterproof, not dustproof. You have a nice big storage container right here, which I love. Also not waterproof, not dustproof. Doesn't really have a dust problem, but definitely a water problem, and it gets hot in there. But it's nice to have a lot of storage. I do miss that going to the Can-Am, which on the 700 Can-Ams in this class, you have the same storage as the Grizzly. You have some storage right here. I don't know what that's about, but little storage there, trash cans I use it for. You have a 12-volt plug, normal key ignition, push button start. Your headlights are easy to control, on, off. Kill switch override for diff lock. My winch controller, nice digital display. This is kind of a review video slash everything, so I want to cover everything here. You have all your information here. Warning lights over here, park, gear select right here. Odometer, time, you can go through these different ways. Hours, volt, temp, clock, you name it. A couple trip meters. There's a service. That was the last time I changed oil. On the Grizzly, you have brake levers on each side. One controls the front, one controls the back. You have 4-wheel disc on this machine all the way around. You have a cable-driven throttle, which is okay for 20-year reliability, but once you ride a Can-Am, you'll realize what I'm talking about. This will wear your thumb out over time. It gets old. I love this 4-wheel drive selector on the Grizzly. Best there is. Can't change my mind. Diff lock, 4-wheel drive, and 2-wheel drive. Best in the business, I believe. Gas can, gas fills right here. Same on most modern ATVs unless you get a Honda. The new Hondas are weird. Not the Rubicon 520s, they're great. Favorite machine ever. But the Rincon, that's now the Rubicon 700, disgusting. Cap right here, vent, whatever, nasty. Park, reverse, neutral, high, low, all right here. Gear select, nice design. Easy to get to the oil. Nice, decent little foot pegs from the factory. As far as maintenance goes, pretty simple on the Grizzly. It's a little bit worse than the Hondas. Everything's kind of random sizes. You need a bunch of different little tools. No big deal though. You have to pull a few things to do an oil change easily at least. The seat on the Grizzly is decently comfortable. Definitely not the most comfortable. I'd put a Honda Rubicon seat and definitely this Can-Am seat over it. I also don't like that these Yamaha seats just set in. I always worry about them blowing off, so I always take them off. I haven't had an issue with it coming off. It's actually been fine for me. I just worry about the longevity of these right here. I guess you could always change those if you had a problem. Never had a problem with the seat, but not my favorite design. Air filter is easy to get to. You can see this machine was manufactured 8 of 23. I got it in March of 24. Everything is easy to get to here. As far as accessing the engine, you just pull floorboards, pull these off. It's all pretty simple stuff. Not the easiest, but not the hardest by any means. Now, people always buy Grizzlies for one thing. Well, a couple things. That's one. The reliability of Yamaha is well known, and it's proven itself right here. People also buy them because of the sportiness, and I will stand on that because this right here, even though it's a 1000, I am on 30, so an XTP is obviously going to be a different comparison here. But this Can-Am, with all the power, everything, you still don't feel quite as safe, at least because I'm not used to it yet, as you do on this going full speed. This is a lot more agile. The power steering is amazing. Probably still better than the Can-Am power steering. Don't get me wrong. Everything about this, if you watch my other videos, and I'll have a more detailed overview of this coming soon. Everything about this Can-Am is better, for the most part, that I've seen so far. Reliability, I don't know yet. Time will tell. So far, though, these Gen 3 Can-Ams have been proving to be reliable, but they're not. Grizzly's, what, 25 years going now? This style since 2019, same everything. And they've proven to be very solid. There's a few little things they can improve on here, and I really wish they would do that, update the Grizzly. I was hoping for 26 with a delayed release that they were going to do something. They didn't do anything. And that's why I switched. You know, I love the Yamaha, I love the Grizzly, but I wanted something different, innovative. And this really hits all the right spots. So some of the major complaints with the Grizzly, and I'll go over these really quick. Just some of the things I don't like and things I love. The floorboards I don't like at all. This machine here with 27s, and this come factory is 27s all the way around. Throws water and mud, rocks, everything right here. Now, if you're riding in the spring or fall, like now, and the road's wet, your leg is going to get soaked on the stock setup here. Water splashes up here, goes all over your leg. Very annoying, beyond annoying. Mud gets all over you. That's one of my biggest complaints. And I'll probably actually put fender flares on here eventually. Or make some sort of, I think if I put a custom mud flap right here even, just something that come out a little wider, maybe just screw some, or bolt some rubber on here. I think that would work. Or some sort of deflector here. That's one thing I don't like. Other than that, the things I don't like have kind of faded away, and I don't have very many things I don't like. Mainly just that. That's the number one thing. Now, the things I love about the Grizzly are a lot of things. One, how sporty it feels. It rides great. The power steering is unmatched. This thing here with the dynamic power steering, you have all these different modes and fancy hoopla nonsense, which is great. Power steering is awesome on this, especially the 30s. They're great, no complaints. But this is just perfect. It's hard to explain unless you ride them all. This is perfect. And some of the main things I like about it are headlight pod up here. I love that feature. I love the headlight controls. I love all this controls up here way better. Very easy to operate. I like having a real key. I love the four-wheel drive system. Feels like you can never break a button off by snagging it with a shirt. I love this digital display layout. I love the storage right here. This is all very nice. The shifter's nice. Shifting is very smooth on the Grizzly. This is actually smoother, believe it or not. But I also love individual brakes. It takes getting used to, and these four-wheel brakes work great. But I just love having that option to control either or. I like that a lot. I love the fit and finish on the Grizzly. There's a few things when it was new that kind of were big, like the gap was big there, and it actually settled down. I got it to sit, you know, a couple things here and there. Overall, though, the paint quality is amazing. You can see this is looking good for this many miles. The black, yeah, it's black, so it's going to show scratches. Right there's some like stress cracks where I guess I maybe smashed it right there. A little bit of kick marks. Nothing terrible, though. The silver's definitely held up good. Stickers have held up great. I didn't think they would. They did. You can see these got scraped. No massive issues, though. Nothing peeling off. The wheel finish, they still shine. I just washed it. You look really close, there's some scratches and some damage here and there. Overall, no problem. Never lost a center cap or anything. Some of the heat shields coming off, you know, that's typical. And that was one thing I forgot. Oh my goodness. The heat, that's a major complaint. When you're riding by yourself, not that terrible. When you're sitting idling, or I couldn't imagine if you're like at a mud park back east or somewhere, even here we have them, but you're riding around real slow all day, that heat's gonna get to you. It gets super hot on these plastics coming out, which is fine in the spring, fall, winter. Summertime, bad, especially with two people. This machine's pretty much, I would deem it unbearable with two people. Now, you know, they make two-seaters. Yamaha doesn't. Can-Am does. I still opted for a single, though. And this machine, riding two people, no problem. Seat's super comfortable. Passengers' feet can touch. No heat. No big deal. Especially the 700 is even better about heat. But this one's still really good. This one here, though, when you have a second person, it's a little tight, seat's a little stiff, legs touch this, can't reach the floor, and this gets unbearably hot to the point where it's miserable. You're sweating, you can't, it's not comfortable. So the heat and the floorboard protection, that's the two things about this Grizzly I don't like. But covering all the things I do like, it outweighs all that, you know, you can move past it. The design of the Grizzly's probably one of the best. Headlights are okay, they're good enough. And a lot of my respect for the Grizzly come back when they lowered the price. Because what really happened is when Can-Am dropped the 700 and it was cheaper than the Grizzly, I was wondering, why would you not get a Can-Am when it's cheaper and has a lot more features? And power-wise, the Can-Am 700 is more powerful. That's a fact. You ride one, it's a lot quicker. They top out at like 67. They ride smoother. They're fast. Get up and go. Torque stronger. This engine's kind of weak. It's not weak, but it's not strong. You know, it just doesn't pull. It feels like it does because it's so sporty and this thing's floaty and you can wheelie it easier, and you're kind of sitting up on it, not sitting down in. You can see here how you're really down in the machine when you're sitting on it. You're like down in a hole. So you feel more planted, more stable. So on the 700 Can-Am, you don't really feel the power, but it's there. If you race these side by side, it's there. This one, you're kind of on top of it. A little bit of a wishy-washy feeling if you get used to the Can-Am. The front end likes to dive, pretty soft, but this suspension here is probably about wore out now. Now, to wrap this video up, I'm gonna say the things I'd like to see update. Grizzly's been very unchanged for a long time, and for good reason. It's a cult following with any brand, any pickup, anything. People like what they like, they don't want change. I do. That's why I got a Can-Am. I like things fresh, different, I like improvements. That's where Can-Am has stepped up, and they keep changing and developing new products and give you something to do. You're not going to see a Can-Am stay the same for 6 years, 10 years. I mean, the Grizzly's been relatively identical, the same since 07 when they come out the 700. Same engine, everything. They've had some changes here and there, but nothing major. 2019 to now, they've been completely the same besides colors. 2025, they changed the power steering a little bit. I don't know. But for the most part, completely left alone. What I'd like to see them do is keep the same engine. I don't care about the 850 1000. If they do that, that's great. Separate platform. The Grizzly is known for what it is. So what I would do is leave the metal racks on the base model. Make your standard EPS Grizzly 700. I don't want to see the engine or transmission change at all. I don't really want to see anything change. Suspension, all that's good. I would make the base model SE come with metal racks. Or, sorry, EPS, not SE. The base model come with the metal racks. Standard bumper, standard, you know, overall, basically this same machine with some minor changes. One, I'd like to see all the minor problems go away, like the diff brace. Change the diff so that it's never a problem. You've been making machines for 20-something years. Fix it. Doesn't need to be a problem. Minor updates like that. The heat issue, there's a tuning issue. You could tune it and change that. But they could also do some better heat. So I'd like to see some better heat. A little bit more comfortable seat with latches, better floorboard protection, a little different design in the plastic, better floorboards would go a long way. And that's about all I do for the SE. I would also change the headlights and this pod to a better quality, nicer, bright LED. These light up the path in front of you like no other. These are kind of okay. They work, they're not the best. Now, when you get into the Grizzly SE and XTR, whatever models they wanted to make, I'd like to see like a plastic rack with quick connect like this, or even if it was more like Suzuki where it's a metal rack with plastic on top, but also offer some you know, easy accessories on and off, stuff like that. All the storage can stay the same though. That's really it though. Change the racks to a more modern design, upgrade the seat, upgrade the floor protection, keep the engine alone, leave it alone. It's perfect. For the most part, that's about it. The Grizzly's a very good machine. I'd own another one. I'm happy with this one. So if you're thinking about it, I'd say get it. I mean, they're good machines. They last forever. This one, 4,500 miles, no problem. It's not going anywhere. I have the Can-Am now, so the miles will definitely slow down. But I'll still use it. It's still the plow machine. That's one thing I forgot to say. I do plow with it. So I have a plow mount on the bottom I left on all year. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below what you'd like to see in the future. We'll see you in the next video, which will be probably about this. Top speed on the Grizzly 62, which it reads 60 now for some reason, but yeah, it was 62. This tire's a magnet, dude. This is my second nail on the same tire. Holy smokes.